I be fresh as fuck when I hit the scene. Everybody know me. 40 tuck in my skinny jeans. I'm so fucking low key.
And they're 9.5, which are the equivalent to the PSA 10.
So I was just telling them that we're here at a buddy of mine's real estate office because we're looking at a bunch of their collection that we are going to potentially purchase. And these guys are huge collectors, one of the biggest in the game. Probably has the most 88 Fleer basketball in the world, just because they made it a point to do so. They just wanted to buy up that product and corner the market on that. And I have a whole list of stuff, comes out to about $300,000 what we're looking at to purchase. And they might bring some extra goodies for us to check out just because they're always looking to sell. They're always buying some new stuff, but I'd imagine they're going to have some fun things to say what they're going to do with the $300,000. And we're going to be putting some nice stuff in our collection, like a lot of 88 Fleer basketball, 87, 88 Jordan. We got Pippen, Rodman, a lot of those just cornerstone vintage athletes from the 88 era. It's got some Tom Brady rookie cards, Patrick Waugh, and I guess we'll see what else they bring for us. Yeah, some people, like, they come in with their collections out, they find stuff in their attic and they don't even know what it's worth, and it could be a lot of work to go on eBay and trying to figure out how much it actually is worth. So what we do on Sundays is we let them come in, bring their stuff. Joe will tell them from a pretty expert opinion, what it actually is worth and whether it's worth sending in to PSA or to another grading company, and we'll do that for them. Because we have an account, Joe does that on a regular basis. We send probably 10 to 100,000 cards in a month. So on Sundays we send cards into PSA for grading, and then we also have people come in to kind of do some appraisals and we'll film some content. Every once in a while we'll find some pretty cool cards, but a lot of times it's people bringing in like Jordan from the 90s, baseball from the late 90s, stuff that they grew up with that they thought was worth a lot of money, but unfortunately it just isn't. So when Joe is the one that kind of tells them what it's worth, it's kind of a harsh realization, but it is what it is. There he is.
What's going on?
There he is.
What's going on?
There he is.
Coming in here. So it's a combination of product that we've had, that we've kind of been buying and selling over the years, and kind of targeting certain markets. We kind of saw kind of an opportunity with some basketball products about 2 years ago that we came up with a plan, and this basically what you're seeing here is kind of a market we created. This 88 Fleer basketball wax packs. Saw on the market that it was a low population product, and we kind of did the math and we said, look, we put an investment into some boxes and then had them graded, we should be able to realize a pretty significant profit. So, we got heavy into this product. We shipped it off to the company that grades them, and then we got them back about 15 months ago. And then, during the lead up to that, to actually getting the product, we kind of, we started buying and selling around the pack, that product. We kind of started targeting some of the individual cards that are inside the packs because we thought they were very underpriced. Okay, and it kind of did two things. By kind of exposing the value in the individual cards, it also exposed the value or the undervalue in the packs. So we kind of had a twofold.
Because the cards are inside the packs.
Right. So most of these cards in these boxes are found in these packs. Okay, so you have like, and what's great about this year is a couple of things. It's not a mass-produced product, but you can get, it's something you can get your hands on. But it's also, the main feature is you've got Michael Jordan, very early on cards, not his rookie, but these are his third-year cards. What we saw was, look, his third-year cards cannot be selling for where they were selling for at the time. For whatever reason, the market has not found the level of the value of those cards. And kind of when we started pushing this product, and we started pushing the individual cards and started buying what happens on the platform eBay, which is where 90% of this stuff is bought and sold. once you start, buying a certain item or a certain year, people are watching. I mean, it's like, okay, now I can't get into this at the price I was buying. I see somebody starting to buy. Well, wait a minute. I see what they're doing there. I see that the value is kind of undervalued, so I better start buying these now before they get too high. So, and what happened was, we're buying pretty strongly. As the packs got to the point where we were getting an indication that we were going to be getting our packs back from PSA, we kind of stepped it up with the
Started buying a lot more.
We start really buying these, and that ended up pushing
the value
of the pack, so that the time we got the packs, and we're buying every pack that we can find on eBay or off eBay. We're buying every one that we can find. And so when we get our box, and we sent in 10 boxes, or it was 9 boxes, so that gave us about 350 packs.
36 packs per box.
Right. So, and when we started this whole venture, the whole population was under 1,000 of these particular packs that were ever graded. So when we get our 300, and I think it was like 327.
So a quarter of the market.
Right. So now all of a sudden we're holding a very significant part of the market, because, and which is, it's really hard to do in this market. I mean, to kind of accumulate a significant percentage, and now we're holding this, and because we were buying the packs strongly in the lead up, anybody who wants to get into this product, pretty much has to go through us. Okay, and because these cards are really, when we first started buying, the Jordan, like the regular card and his All-Star card, I think we were paying, we were paying $50, okay, in a PSA 9, which is the next level up to the perfect card. So you got, we kind of target the 8, 9, and 10 grades. 10 grades are always going to get a premium because they're very few, and they don't come on the market as much. The 9s, you'll see a lot more of them, but it's still a very tough grade to get. So we kind of target the 9s. We'll buy up a lot of the 8s. And when we started buying the 88 Jordan base card in this product, I think we were paying like $50 for the 9s. We sold a 3-pack of those same cards 2 or 3 weeks ago for $4,500. So, and it's kind of like, it didn't go from there, didn't go from 50 to $1,500 a piece overnight. It was kind of like, okay, it's just as more people got involved, and more, more investors and more collectors saw that, okay, this is something that's really going to, be something I want to get into now rather than later. The market kind of pushed itself at that point. Okay, and then what we did, and what we currently have is, we saw where this was going, so we made the decision we were going to buy an entire case of this product. So there was an auction. There was a pretty big auction that happened in the summer of last year, and there was
24 boxes.
12
boxes.
So in the case, this was a sealed case, which they're rare. I mean, it's very those don't come up all the time. So we saw it, say, hey, we really want to buy that case, because our idea was, as crazy as it might sound, we don't have enough of the product. We want to win the case and ship it directly to PSA, so that now we're not talking about having 30% of the profit or product, but when we get those packs back, we're going to be over 50%. So now our position is even stronger, and in fact, probably in about 2 or 3 weeks, we'll have that case back. So we're kind of, and the way that PSA, which is the grading company, they kind of, they're the biggest in the market, and you kind of you have to wait for them, and it goes in stages. You ship it to them, they get it, they review it, and that's a process that I think they got our case back in July, I want to say. So we just now are to the point where they're getting them into these these plastic holders, and they're doing their review. So from July, August, September, October, November, we're talking 8 months later, the whole time we're buying. I mean, we're buying. We're also selling because we're
push.
I mean, we're putting the product out there. We're selling it. We're getting more people because you always want the market to see that hey, I can buy, and it's I don't know if it's funny. It's kind of it's one of those things where it's kind of weird where I'll be buying the very packs that I was selling to guys 6 months ago. I had a guy send me an email. It's like, hey Joe, you sold me these packs back in August or September.
For $1,100.
Right. So
why are you buying them from me for $1,300?
Because I believe strong. And the quick answer, and we laughed about it. The quick answer is I believe strongly that the product is just now, kind of, starting to build a little more momentum. So I see it. I see a target. So I'm going to be a strong buyer because I believe in the product.
Joe's a strong buyer. I'm a strong buyer.
Yeah. I mean it's kind of it's a different strategy, but I find that it works.
Yeah, see, a lot of people take their profits when your product goes up double, dare I say, or maybe even triple, but he keeps on buying at the top, and it just keeps on going because the ceiling for some of this product is just way higher than where it is.
Right.
You got Jordan, you got Pippen, you got John Stockton, you got Reggie Miller. You got a lot of Hall of Famers in just this pack, but particularly you've seen just the increase in the Michael Jordan market this entire year, stemming from the Last Dance documentary
right.
and now, and that's kind of what got the hobby into it really and spurred it. But now you got these hedge funds calling you every single day saying, will you sell some product? Because they are absolutely sure that this will just continue to go up as time
right.
goes on.
Right. You're as a buyer and seller, the people who are kind of watching this, you'll get a sense of who the ones that have significant amounts of what they're looking for. So when a hedge fund or a guy who's a serious investor wants to buy, he wants to buy multiples or bulk of hey, if I'm going after Jordan, I want inventory. You can go on eBay and you can do the auction game and you can buy it nows, but you can find somebody with a significant amount of the items that you want to make a play for that. So, I mean, it's one of those things where, we're constantly being approached by, hey, what do you got behind the curtain? Because they see our site. I mean, I've got a couple of eBay sites, a couple of stores, and, I'll sell an item and then immediately put, the same thing back on the site. And so the guy's buying it's like, hey, well, how many you got? I said, well, don't worry, I'll always say, don't worry, I'm not gonna run out, okay? So, it's the temptation, of course, and I've kind of benefited from this, from people saying, hey, I see you bought this for me, I have 3 behind it, you wanna buy these other 3? I'm always, yeah, sure. I mean, go in your closet, find everything you have. I'd rather buy it all now. But I'm more of I'm gonna hey, I sold 1 today, or if I sold a lot of 3 today, I'll put on another lot of 3 tomorrow. Kind of seeing where the market's going, because I don't, as much as I would love to, hey,
Continue to hold.
just keep you have to be moving, you have to be constantly pursuing
New products and new
right.
markets.
And then what we found too is this, even though the Jordan market is strong and is going to be strong, the market itself is going to have its, hey, there's going to be tons of people wanting to realize a profit.
Yeah, they're going to sell.
Okay, so I constantly, oh guys, look where the Jordan went. It was here today, or it was here 3 weeks ago, and it was here last week, and then it was here. How can you do? What are you supposed? I said, just if you watch the, if you did it on a graph, the key is that it's constantly moving up. So yeah, there's going to be dips, small and short-term dips, but in the end, you're going to see a constant move upwards.
It's like the S&P 500.
Right. I mean, you'll have, you'll have, I mean, it's interesting too. I kind of follow the forums, and there's some old time forums, and there's some newer guys on the PSA forums, and a lot of the chatter lately, the last 6 months to a year, it sounds like a stock forum. I mean, these guys, and in fact, there are guys who are, you know, pretty big time stockbrokers are on the forums talking about, yeah, it's similar to this, and they start talking stocks, and you know, I'm not a stock guy, but it does follow the same kind of trajectory that you see in the stock market, and it all goes back to, is the company strong? Is the product strong? So that, and you know, you listen to these guys, and you read what they're, you know, kind of the back and forth, and it always goes back to, we want to get into stocks. We wanted to get into cards that are always going to hold their value, because what's behind is a very strong product. Okay, Jordan's always going to be strong. You know, the vintage market is going to remain strong because they don't print it anymore, right? Matt, and he kind of got me into the this kind of new stuff, and I don't know the new market, and but it was kind of exciting, because he's like, hey, how about this guy? And I'm like, it's a more volatile, but there's also patterns that you see with the newer stuff too, right?
Well, look at that Luka card that just sold for record high. It's not a Michael Jordan card that sold for record high price. It's a Luka Doncic card, and he's only 23 years old.
Right. And then
he could technically go tear his ACL tomorrow, and that card's not going to be worth very much anymore, because what's the prospect of him being on the same level as Jordan in the future if he gets injured? So there's a lot more risk involved. But
and we talked too about with the newer stuff, you really have to be in a position where you're kind of looking broader. Right. You're not targeting one or two guys for just that reason. Okay?
Well, if you talk to one of your stock guys on the forums, they'd probably tell you diversification is probably a good idea.
Yeah. Yeah. And I brought a lot of different stuff. Of course,
this box.
Those are the packs I was talking
Nobody
about.
has this many packs. Not
so. We're kind of holding back.
And wait a second. How many in the population report are there the 10s?
So
how many total?
There's total, what do we look up, 42? Was there 42?
42 in the population?
Yeah.
There's two right here.
All right, so I've got
3 right here. 4 right here. 5 right here. That's a sticker back. Jordan sticker back.
So
how many in the population of those?
Okay. So
go ahead.
We talked a little bit earlier about the grading scale, and I'm always going to talk PSA because the other companies, SGC, BGS, hold such a small percentage. So PSA being like the 85% holder of the market, their scale goes from 1 to 10. So obviously the 10 is going to be the premium card or the premium pack that you want. So they print everything they grade goes into their population report. Everybody can see it. You can click onto their website, go to population report. They do the packs, they do the cards. So, and that's kind of what keyed us doing this with the packs, because we saw the low numbers like that. Why is that so low? Why is it so low? Because people, and really it's a couple of factors. Number one, it's not something, this is kind of a newer, niche market, packs. Right? Packs, but it's also, here's the thing. These packs come from, the only way PSA will grade a pack is if it's in a sealed box that this company in Indiana seals.
BBC.
Right, BBC in Indiana, BBCE, is the sole company that will say to PSA, these are legit packs. You can go ahead and slap them.
Otherwise, how would you know someone didn't open it and seal it?
Exactly. So the process is just, if you were on your own going to do this, you'd have to send it to Indiana, wait for him to seal it, get it back, and then send it to PSA. So we're kind of thinking that how can we get through this process? Well, here's what we did. We said we're going to buy the boxes already sealed by BBCE
first.
Okay, right?
The premiums.
Because it cuts out that middleman, because you can find them on eBay or auction sites, and then send them directly to PSA, and they already know that
based on the seal.
Right, that it's a legit box. And the first time we did this, PSA called me up and say, what's going on? Why aren't these coming from? I said, well, why would I send them to BBCE? They're already wrapped, right? This was a couple of years ago, and I spent a couple of phone calls with their, the manager of the pack guy, and he's like, okay, yeah, that's cool. As long as it's wrapped, there's no question. And
You
so
think
they
they
started.
get away with that today?
I think they would.
Because there's BBC wrapped products on eBay for sale right now.
Right.
I think the last one sold for like 15,000.
Exactly. And there's one currently that we're kind of chasing right now. Too.
Brian told me to bid on it. I bid up to 13, and then I said, it's too rich.
No
too
more.
rich.
No more. Okay.
I can't.
But we took it another step further. With that case we talked about earlier with that we won in the summer. So that was a sealed BBCE case. So they took the case of these cards, 12 boxes in the case that was sealed from the factory. BBCE wrapped it. Okay, we won the auction. I think all in with the 20%. I think it was like 65 grand for the sealed case. Okay, which is more. At the time was more than the individual boxes were selling, so it was kind of, it's like, okay, we wanted that case. All right, so then what I did was I called the guy at the auction house and I said, okay, I'm going to pay for this case and I want you to ship it directly to PSA. And the guy didn't say, like, there was silence. He's like, and I said, are you there? Are you like, Scott, are you there? He goes, Joe, what are you talking about? He says, I want you to send the case directly to PSA. And then he goes, why would I send the case to PSA? Because you won the case, right? And I said, Scott, this is what I want you to do. I want you to send it to PSA because I'm going to have them grade the individual packs in the case. And he says, that's insane. He goes, that's insane.
No one's ever done that.
Right. Why would I send a case? It's a sealed BBCE case. And I said, trust me. And I explained to him he goes, you know what? That makes a lot of sense. He goes, I wouldn't do it. I don't know if anybody else is, kind of has the foresight, or I think he said crazy enough to do it. And he said, all right, I'll ship it there. It saved me a little bit on shipping because he didn't have to ship a $60,000 product, to me, and then I, kind of had to ship it to PSA if that's what we're going to do. So he shipped it to PSA, and then when PSA got it, or no, I called ahead of time and said, I said, hey, this case is coming, and I talked to the guy that I've talked to. Before a lot of times, he's like, why are you calling me and telling me this case is coming? I said, because you're going to grade the entire case. And he's like, you want us to break open a $60,000 case and grade the individual pack? Why would you do that? Why would you do that? And I said, just, it's my money. I can, and he says, I know why you're doing it because you've done the math. He goes, you've done the math. You're gonna, you see the profit potential in the packs. I said, yes, do it. So anyway, so that's how.
We're almost getting that case back pretty soon.
Yes, and we're very excited about that.
Yeah, but you said that I could buy it.
Huh?
Brian said
what? Okay, we'll talk.
Brian said I could buy it.
So anyway, so here, what I brought, this is just a box of 8s.
But wait, answer the question. How many?
Oh, okay, yeah.
How many are there in the world?
All right. So of the PSA 10 packs.
Just the 10s, the perfect 10s.
So these are, I've got 5 of them here. Okay. So all that have been graded, there's only 41 that have gotten a 10. Okay.
We got 5
so we've got 5. We've probably handled 11 of them. Buying and selling. I got a couple that we're kind of.
Is that the car I was talking about the other day?
That we've got in lots. But one of these packs that's a 10 has a Michael Jordan sticker on the back, and there's only 4 of these.
4. So we got one of them here.
Right. So this is one of 4 with the Michael Jordan sticker back. So I mean this is one of those those very few things that it's going to be tough for me to sell because I really like the fact that it's one of 4.
It's mine now.
One of 4. Okay, so the sticker packs plus the 10s. Okay, so all of these are Michael Jordan stickers. I think there's 21 of the 8s, maybe 7 or 8 of the 9s, and 110, and then I brought all the 8s. There's a group of 9s that they're in a separate box. So and then what else? that we have, that I brought is, some of the individual cards that these are all in